Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Meisels, and welcome to the Expert Interview Series. I am really excited today because we have Mary Powers here as my guest, and Mary's going to talk about motivation being a six-letter word. So I'm really curious about this, and I can't wait to dig in. But let me just introduce Mary. Hi, Mary. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
you're welcome. I just really quick want to tell everybody about the Expert Interview Series. So basically, this is a show where I bring on guests like Mary, and we talk about a way that you can actually make a step forward in your business and life. And so all of my guests bring such rich and great experience and tips. And so if you haven't looked at all of the interviews, please do that. And also, I'd love it if you give my page some likes and give us some likes here too, because we want to know, what you're thinking. If you have any questions as we're going through, go ahead and comment, and we'll get to all of those questions. So without further ado, Mary, six-letter word. This sounds really interesting. Let me let me tell people about you, and then we'll jump in. Does that sound okay?
Okay, perfect.
All right. So Mary works with professional women to help them get more clarity and move beyond their blocks and limitations so that they can make more money and have better relationships and live their dream life. We all want to live our dream life, and there's so many obstacles in the way, right? So Mary's your gal. So she spent more than 2 decades training and trailblazing around the globe. Besides living in the US, she's been fortunate enough to have worked and been schooled in France and Canada. And she's had the pleasure of studying with some of the world's greatest spiritual teachers and coaches. And to this day, she strives to better herself. She's learned and integrated many of the tools and systems to help others overcome their blocks and patterns that stop them from becoming their greatest self, and stopping them from exuding that confidence that actually takes them to the next level in success. And she is certified by Coach Eben Pagan, Eben Pagan, and she also has a master's degree in business administration. She's been blessed with intuitive and healing gifts, which helps her to truly transform a person out of the story that's keeping them stuck. And she uses her emotional energy release technique that's helped thousands of people to achieve lasting, empowering transformation across multiple areas in their lives. I always ask my guests what they believe in, what they take a stand for. And she said, I believe that if you aren't growing, then you must be dying. There's no middle ground. We all have the ability to transform our life to better our situation. For some, we need a reminder. For others, it's a choice not to make changes. Wherever we are in life, we are not victims of circumstance unless we choose to be. And I love that. So thank you so much for sharing that, Mary. And let's hear about your journey. How did you get to, okay, so we know you've studied all over the place and you've studied with lots of coaches and spiritual healers. What about your own journey that brought you to doing what you're doing today?
Well, I've always been interested in the metaphysical world, even as a teenager, and always studied it, followed people, read up on it, and but ignored it on some level because I did my master's degree. I worked in the corporate world for many, many years. And finally one day, Spirit said to me, it's time to move on. And I literally, when I heard that voice, quit my job and moved across the country because it's about trusting, your own guidance. And at the time that I was there, I was in a crappy job, crappy in the sense of it was eating at me, right? Toxic relationship with my husband, and just a lot of relationships that weren't serving me very well. And I realized that this big move was about me letting go of the past and moving into new direction. So at that point, I got really serious about the work that I was doing, really serious about changing my life and taking action. And that's how I got into what I'm doing now, is to really recognize that our blocks and limitations are merely parts of ourself that we haven't healed.
I love that. Yeah, it's really important. And I love learning from people that have been through their own stuff and are teaching through experience,
Right,
because it's so much richer than learning from somebody that's teaching from the head.
right,
So I
right.
love that you're doing that. Yeah. So
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about the 6-letter word. The motivation is a 6-letter word. Tell us about that.
Well, most of us have heard while we were growing up that we weren't good enough.
Yeah.
You can't do this, can't do that. And even when those voices stopped, we picked up where that person left off, and we continue to play that toxic CD in our head, right? And whether it's us saying we're not good enough, it's whether it's us talking ourselves out of something, um, going into a place of being unmotivated about something, we find ourselves putting our foot on the brake instead of the gas pedal.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember back when I was in 4th grade, I can remember this so vividly, where we were in art class and we had to draw a dish soap bottle. And I couldn't do it. I failed miserably. And my best friend who was sitting next to me said, "You can't draw." And I took that on as baggage for decades, right? Someone told me I couldn't do it and I owned it.
Yeah.
And finally, going on years later, I went into a painting class, again, painting, drawing, all the same, right? And I did a fabulous job. I painted like fabulously, like one of the best paintings in the whole room. And it was because someone taught me how to do it properly. I had the instructions. It wasn't that I couldn't do it. I believed all those years that I couldn't do it. And I'm sure many people have experienced this.
Mm-hmm.
We look at our past experiences and judge them as our future experiences. That's what our future is going to be, whatever our past was. So
Yes.
it's like driving the car, looking through the rearview mirror, right? And we do this so unconsciously.
Exactly.
And in order for us to move forward, we need to be more conscious of our actions and choices. And so most people don't succeed or achieve what they want in life because 93% of the time it's their mindset, it's their inner game. And we need to heal that inner game. So sometimes it's as easy as teaching someone the ropes, or sometimes it's about dealing with your fears. So when we say that we're uninspired to like write a blog or go to the gym, or we doubt ourselves if we're qualified to do a new job, are we lacking motivation? And the answer that I say to you is no. Motivation really is only a 6-letter word. And that 6-letter word is known as choice. We have choice,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can choose not to do something and call it that we feel uninspired, right? We can say that we're unmotivated. We can say we're undeserved, tired, or nothing's going to change, or nothing's going to happen. But I say it's only choice.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to make a change in our life, we need to look at what's stopping us and make a new choice, right? We need to take a choice that leads us closer to our desired outcome. So for you to say that I don't have time to go to the gym, you're choosing not to go to the gym because you could wake up 90 minutes earlier and go to the gym in the morning, right? You can say, well, I'm too tired, then go to bed earlier, right? Or find a time that's convenient for you. But it's all down to choices. And we choose something because the pain of staying stuck is greater than the pain of making a new choice.
So if you're unconscious about, these backstories of not good enough and I can't do it and all those things, how do you make a choice to change?
Well, it's more about being conscious about when you're making a decision to ask yourself, is this the best outcome for me? Does this lead me in the direction that I want to go in, right? And stopping yourself before you go into that old pattern, right? Or you can look at it and say, okay, I'm going to look at what I know to be as a problem with myself. And the problem is I always find losers of boyfriends or something, right? Okay. And then looking at yourself and saying, well, why do I do that? What am I trying to fulfill in this relationship? Who am I in that relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And then backing it back to say, okay, wait a second. So this is the root problem. So in order for me to do that or change that, I need to do this instead of doing that.
Yeah, so important. And I think, I know most of my audience, the women in my audience, are dealing with that story of not good enough. And it creates high achievers. I mean, that's one of the good things that it does. It
Right.
makes us want to be perfectionists and high achievers. But then that's always coming in and like it'll seep in where you feel like, oh, I'm not productive enough. I've got to keep, I'm not successful enough. And it's like, everything's not enough.
Right. Well, and that usually boils down to a couple situations. You could either be a shadow, that we can't accept ourselves if we aren't doing anything because we perceive ourselves as lazy, and then therefore we judge lazy as being a bad thing,
Yeah.
right? But we all need downtime. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what sleep is for, right? But we all need downtime. So we have to stop judging ourselves. And the second thing that could come up with is a value conflict. If you're not working hard, therefore you're not being successful. Well, that's not true, right? You can be successful and not be doing anything because you may have passive income coming in, right? So it's about looking at our values and making sure they're in alignment with our desires. So there's a lot of things going on here that can kind of get us off kilter in a way to prevent us from being all that we can be.
Yeah, and I think one of my mentors once said to me, Lisa, just being, you're enough. Just being, just
Right.
you
Right.
don't even have to do anything. And that
Right.
was like, that was
Right.
a big, huge thing. Yeah,
But you have to believe it, right? Because if you don't believe it, then you're not going to exude that that's enough, and you will constantly look for something else or try to fix something.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
all perfect. We are all perfect. And even if we have bad patterns, we're all perfect. We can always improve ourselves, right? But
Yeah.
we're perfect.
And one of the things that I was journaling about, I journal when I'm in my hot tub at night. So one of the things I was journaling about was, um, we are perfect and we do judge. I mean, we all tend to be judgmental, mostly about ourselves. And oh gosh, I lost it. Where was that going? Something about, darn it, why did I do this on air? Anyway,
You're perfect. You're
it was
perfect.
good.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
I'm perfect. And I think it was just, these things that we make choices, and if we feel like we're not good enough or we are good enough, it's like it's not coming to the surface yet for us to shift it. It's like we have to be at a certain point in order to be aware that it is a
Mhm.
problem, something is a problem, or something needs to change in order for us. Like if we're comfortable and we're not happy, that's a problem, right? So it's like if you're not in joy, that's a problem. That's what I was going to say. If you're not in joy about anything you're doing, then there's a problem there, because I mean that's my belief anyway.
Right.
What do you
Right.
think about
And quite often just knowing that there's a problem is 90% of it,
that? Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because you've come to this realization that something's off. But I agree with you on your point. And we really just, in my humble opinion, need to just look at ourselves and say, how can I be the best that I can be, right? And if that means making a change or a choice, then so do it. And one point that I want to bring up is people tend to make changes harder than they need to be. So, for example, you may say that, oh God, I got to lose 5 to 10 pounds, right? Who wants to diet? No one wants to diet, right? But if you change it to something that's more manageable, to I want to be the healthiest person I can be, and then choose a healthy lifestyle, now your goal isn't just about losing weight, because as soon as you hit that 5 or 10 pounds, you're going to quit.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, if you had a goal of wanting to have a healthier lifestyle, it would be an ongoing shift in your thinking and creating a new form of patterns, right? You'd be possibly going out for a walk in the evening after your dinner, or maybe eating healthier, eating more greens or whatever, versus that dread of having to give up everything you love to eat cardboard to lose weight, right? So it's really about changing our mindset.
It is. It is. And I would even back it down further. It's like self-love. Oh, I love myself the way I am.
Hmm.
And then how can I be healthy? How can I live better? How can I
Absolutely.
enjoy life better? So yeah, but I love what you're saying about the choice. It's so important. We have a choice in every moment
Right.
how to think about
Right.
things. And I think it's the subconscious stuff that's brewing underneath that it keeps us stuck. Is that what you find with your clients?
Absolutely. Yeah. And once you tell them, this is what you're doing and why you're doing it, it's like they have this huge aha and they go, oh, so I don't need to do this anymore? No, you don't. And this is how we're going to fix it. So it's amazing to watch people's energies shift when you give them a tool or give them an opportunity or an out of what they've been stuck in, because some
Yeah.
of us just get stuck.
Well, we can't see our own stuff. I mean, that's what I help people with their messaging. I struggled with my messaging. It's like it's harder for us to see our own stuff.
Absolutely. We're perfect editors, but we're horrible writers.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's great. I love that. So, what kind of fun and exciting things do you have coming up?
Well, I am doing a free teleseminar coming up in September, and people can get on my page, my Facebook group, if you want to find out more about it. It'll be coming up. I haven't announced it yet. My Facebook page is um, spiritually minded professionals and entrepreneurs who are ready to play big.
Okay,
You
let me
can
put
join
that in
that.
the
I
comment.
will.
Yeah.
And also, or you can go to my webpage, mary-powers.com. I do coaching for one-on-ones people. And for anyone who's interested, I don't normally do this, but if anyone's interested in a discovery session with me, I am going to be doing free discovery sessions for this group. Again, I don't normally do that. So if you went to my page, mary-powers.com, and went to my scheduling, if you scheduled a discovery session, you could use the coupon code MOJO.
Okay,
And
I like that.
yes, yes. And the $297 will become free.
Oh, that's a great. Thank you so much. This is super, super, super. So tell us how you work with your clients. Like what's you work one-on-one, and how do you?
Yeah, I do work on one-on-one. I also have a group membership site that's going to be opening up pretty soon too. So basically, we figure out what it is that you want to achieve, and then we look at the patterns, the blocks, and everything that's blocking you from achieving what it is. As you may have said, I am an intuitive. So I do pick up on your energy, and I do read energy very well, and I do not have to be in your presence to read it.
Mhm.
And I do help people to shift their energy through various toolkit that I have, all different ways. And I help people to make their own empowered choices, and I give them tools on how to do that. And on top of that, I also teach people how to read other people. And I don't mean intuitively. I mean, I can do that, but I teach them how to read people just looking at them, so they can determine whether or not people are listening to them, whether they're making impact or not. So they can either change the subject, modify it, or cut it short and move on. Because especially if you're a woman in a relationship trying to find a relationship, and you're talking to someone, he's not interested in you, why would you waste your time, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, or even in a job interview, how do you shift it up so that you can, change it so that they're interested again,
Or
right?
become empowered, just be feeling empowered.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
because it's very empowering to know where the person is, to see if they're on the same page with you,
Yeah.
and to shift it.
Yeah.
So I give women I like to work with women, specific tools to help them become much more empowered, much more in touch with where they are, who they are, and where they want to go.
I love it. It's so important. We all need mentors. I mean, I can count mentors that I have on two hands, the number of
Great.
mentors I have. And, because we could go through life alone, but why struggle? And I think
Exactly.
that's what we're learning, right? I think that's what a lot of us are figuring out. It's like, I don't have to struggle. I can find somebody who's already done it and
Right.
help me, with a shortcut. So yeah, I love what you're doing, and it's so important. And we're going to put your links, your website link, and then the link to and the coupon code up above on my page, so that anybody who watches this will have access to that, and will be able to just use that coupon code to get a discovery session that's normally almost $300 with you for as a complimentary gift for this session. So I appreciate that. Thank you for doing that for this audience, and it's so exciting. And now you work virtually mostly, right? Because you move around. It's like not quite a laptop lifestyle, but you have different places that you like to visit.
Yes, I love to travel. I love to meet people and touch people's lives. And I have a lifestyle that can afford me to travel and to go places. And so I am. Um, so why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fantastic. And there's so many people doing it because why not? Like, why not? Why not just
Right.
go see different cultures and different places? And because I feel that we're moving from material things into life experiences. And
Absolutely.
yeah, the life experience is where the richness is. That's like where we get that good stuff, you know?
I I have a friend who I'm going to visit tomorrow, who I'm leaving to go visit up in Dallas tomorrow. And she has an apartment and she has only one thing in there, and it's a bed.
That's important.
And the reason for that is because she says, I decided that tomorrow I may want to move and I don't want to have to worry about all that crap.
Right? I mean, we accumulate so much stuff. It's ridiculous. And I'm
Hmm.
speaking from, the last time I moved, I went, oh my gosh, I need to move more often so that I don't accumulate all this stuff. And it's been
Right.
10 years. So I don't know how that's but it's pretty fun. Anyway, yeah, I love to travel too, and it's just fun to see different architecture. Like different parts of the world have different
Hmm.
architecture, and
And
uh,
food.
the food is fabulous. I mean, yeah, we almost got caught on camera talking about food. So yeah, no, that was it's all food's always good. Food's always a good conversation. But anyway, well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I know you have so much of it, and I can feel your heart, and I just appreciate you sharing and being with this group. And if anybody has questions for Mary, please post them below, and we will get to them. Both of us will get notified. So, yeah, Mary, any last words?
Well, just thank you, and thank your audience for taking the time out to listen to this. And it truly is all about what you can do to improve yourselves and make yourselves the best version of yourself, so you can live the best life you can. Right?
Yeah,
We
exactly.
don't need we don't need that pain anymore.
Yeah, but let it go. It's that's such what the old way,
Hmm.
the last decade. It's so last decade. That's what I was Anyway, well, thank you again. And listeners, thank you so much for being here. Viewers, thank you for being here. And again, give us some likes and hearts and all of that good, lovey stuff. And I'll be back again next week with another expert to help you move to the next level. So until then, we'll see you. And Mary, you can stay here for a minute. Um, and I'm just going to go ahead and say goodbye.